That a plane chartered by the UK border agency has departed from Gatwick Airport. On board, 40 people, mainly of Tamil origin, whose claims for asylum in the UK were rejected, being sent back to Sri Lanka. Amnesty International has warned that they could be at risk of torture. The Labour MP, Siobhan McDonough, demanded an emergency debate in the House of Commons to stop the deportation. She cited evidence from this week's Channel 4 documentary about war crimes and atrocities allegedly by Sri Lanka against Tamils. Jonathan Miller is at Gatwick Airport. Jonathan, what's the latest there?
Well, Christian, scenes of high drama tonight at Gatwick Airport. As you say, we still do not know whether this plane has left. There's been an enormous flurry of excitement as lawyers dash around trying to get last-minute stays to prevent the removal of some of these people. We do know that in at least 3 cases, judicial reviews have been granted, meaning that the removals have been deferred. There is one very dramatic case, that of a man called Nagendra Raja Sutakaran, who I met 2 days ago inside an immigration removal centre. He was so desperate not to be sent back to Sri Lanka, and he told me that he feared he'd be killed were he to be sent back. He tried to commit suicide this morning by hanging himself. He failed, was taken to hospital, but this afternoon was declared fit and they tried to put him on this plane. Now, we don't know whether indeed he has gone and whether the plane has left. But if he is to arrive in Sri Lanka, in Colombo, he doesn't have to get off the plane and is able to come back to Britain. What this is all about is these well-founded fears raised by human rights groups that these people who are known to be failed asylum seekers could face persecution, disappearance, torture, possibly even death were they to return. And Amnesty International said today that the end of the conflict in Sri Lanka has not diminished the risks. We know that 3 of these people have received death threats within the last 24 hours. And today, this opposition MP tried to force through an emergency debate in the House of Commons, trying to stop this flight. This is what she said.
Britain is flying them on specially chartered flights. It is not like they are arriving incognito. Even worse, the UKBA has actually shared documents about these passengers with the Sri Lankan authorities. We might as well paint targets on their back. To me, it's obvious that Tamils have a reason to fear for their safety in Sri Lanka. Given the emergence of yet more evidence of atrocities, how could they be safe? Mr Deputy Speaker, I think the British Parliament needs to say whether we want our country to continue with these deportations and to continue to have Tamil blood on our hands.
What are the Home Office saying?
Well, I spoke to Siobhan McDonough, that MP, and she said that the immigration minister was actually in the chamber to hear her statement today, and she'd hoped that some sense of shame would surface, as she put it. Now, the minister has released a statement to Channel 4 News tonight saying the UK takes its international responsibilities seriously, considers each claim for asylum on its individual merits, and if an applicant demonstrates a need for protection, that will be granted. Now, there are many who disagree, many who say that these people will not be safe. There are concerns for their safety. There is little monitoring of these people when they return, and many, if they do go back, will return to a very uncertain fate.
Jonathan Miller at Gatwick. Well, the former England cricket captain Mike Atherton has questioned the suitability of the England team's forthcoming tour of Sri Lanka in light of the war crimes allegations. The Sri Lankan team are currently playing over here with the 3rd test